Will you all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. D'Andriano?
Here.
Mr. Rogan?
Here.
Ms. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here. Can I get a motion on the reports?
Make a motion to approve and accept the code compliance for May, code enforcement report for May, dog control officer for May, ECI for May, EMS for May, and the Patterson recreation for May. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion on the supervisor's report?
I'd like to make the motion to approve and accept the supervisor's reports for March and April of 2021. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion on the minutes?
I'll make a motion that we approve the town board meeting minutes of April 28th and May 12th, 2021. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion on the audit of the bills?
I'd like to make a motion to approve abstract number 10 dated May 28th, 2021 in the amount of $157,414.72. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Somebody like to do some budget transfers?
I guess that leaves it to me. We have three, excuse me, we have three of them tonight. Budget request number 11 concerns park contractual in the park districts as it relates to lifeguard training, and that's to funds of both districts due to increased certifications this year. So we will be increasing line 0599, $2,250, line 0599, $1,500, both fund balance accounts. Increasing parks contractual training, $2,500, decreasing line 1910.400, liability insurance, $250, increasing line 7110.450, parks contractual training, $2,250, decreasing 1910.400, liability insurance, contractual, $750. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve those adjustments labeled request number 11. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Budget request number 12 concerns recreation programs, contractual and personal services, lifeguard training, and that's increasing account 2006.25, recreation center lifeguard training, revenue account by $1,200, increasing 7146.125, lifeguard training $248, and increasing line 7146.425, recreation programs, continuing lifeguard training, $952. So I'll make a motion that we approve budget adjustment request number 12. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have budget adjustment request number 13, debt service fund, serial bonds. The following budget adjustments necessary to allocate additional funds to the serial bonds interest accounts, increasing 2401.001, interest earned, $20, revenue account, increasing 9710.700, serial bonds interest, $20, expense account. I'll make a motion that the town board approve budget adjustment request number 13. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Mary, you're up.
Yes, I have two items on my agenda regarding the Recreation Department. The first item is a letter from Miss Jennifer Gay from the Patterson Library. She asked that, she's requesting we do a fee waiver for the use of the recreational facility on July 23rd, 2021. so that they can hold an annual musical at the library. And due to space limits, they're unable to have this event taking place at the library. I'd like to table this, as I think that we would like to partner with the Patterson Library in this event, and we would need to have further discussion with the library, the representatives of the library.
It would be great for two town departments to work well together like that.
I agree.
It would be.
Okay. The second item is a non-bid procurement request form. The Patterson Rec Department is in need of 60 dry blend 50/50 t-shirts. The low bidder that came in was Select Sportswear at the price of $483. The other company came in slightly higher, actually $300 higher. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of 60 golden dry blend 50/50 white t-shirts in the amount of $483. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Peter?
All right, I have on my agenda here the APAP site plan release of escrow. So we received a letter from APAP, George APAP, requesting for their parking lot project is now complete, requesting their escrow balance. So they had $2,000 in their escrow balance now to date. So we have a memo here from our planning department that lists that they have the remaining balance of their escrow account. Escrow account is $596.20. So I'd like to make a motion to release that that money at escrow for $596.20 to George APAP. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's all I have.
Charlie?
Okay. Next, we have over at Dorset Hollow wastewater treatment plant, we need to either repair or replace a fuel injector pump. We got 2 quotes from Peak Power Systems. Interesting enough that to repair and rebuild this pump, injector pump, would cost $7,480 with all travel time, labor time, etc., mileage. And to replace it, it would cost $5,634.27. And the lead time in that is 7 to 14 days estimated, while to send out for a rebuild would be 2 to 4 weeks. So my take is that we should just replace it and move on. Who else wants to comment?
You want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that the town board approve replacing the fuel injector pump at Dorset Hollow wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $7,480.
No.
So,
No, that's the wrong, that's
Oh.
Yes.
the other, the $5,634.27.
Got it?
step back. Make a motion the town board approve the replacement at a cost of $5,634.27. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's it.
Sean?
Okay, next we have, the board and the public may recall that we had a resignation in the courts, and we are looking to fill that position. The board, most of the board, and both of the judges have interviewed some candidates, and the first is to replace the full-time position. We have a resolution which will take effect to appoint Miss Angelina Martinez. And that will be at the rate of $39,000 plus the court stipend, the court session stipends of $60.60 per court. So I'll make a motion that we introduce this resolution appointing Ms. Martinez with an effective date of June 21st, 2021, and ask that this be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And secondly, we tonight interviewed a lovely candidate for a part-time position in the courts. This lady has tremendous experience and will help with some training in the courts, Miss Sperendina Salvi. And this is for a part-time position with an effective date of June 29th at an hourly rate of $25 per hour. And this is a part-time limited to 17.5 hours per week, I believe.
Yes.
And so I'll ask that we introduce this resolution for the hire of the part-time clerk, as I just mentioned, and without objection, enter it into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Both fantastic candidates, and I think great things are ahead for us in the Patterson court. So I think everybody is pretty excited about the future prospects with these candidates. So, thank you.
Okay, a couple of weeks ago, we had received notice from an attorney that there was a potential violation on a piece of property. And he was representing the adjacent property owner. He provided the town board with considerable information substantiating the violation. We did send it over to our building department, who has now provided a memo back on the allegations that were made by the attorney. We also referred it down to our town attorney, who we do have a memo back on that. Jamie, do you want to expand on that at all?
Yes, it's my understanding that the building inspector hasn't, or the town code enforcement officer hasn't at this time observed the issues that have been complained of. I haven't seen the building inspector's memo, but that was my understanding when we reviewed this. And the issues that are presented, the town, of course, will continue to investigate and look into, but at this point in time, in order to investigate whether there is anything to substantiate these claims, there is more information we will be requesting of the attorney who sent the letter. Specifically, there's a complaint regarding the noise ordinance, and there's claims that experts have been out to the property and measured those noises, but a copy of that report wasn't attached to the letter. So we will be asking for a certified copy of the report in order to provide to the building inspector so they can investigate further and determine whether or not a notice of violation should be sent to the property owner.
I also want to point out that prior to the town receiving this letter from an attorney, we had no complaints from the neighbors in that area of any potential violations or any nuisance going on. So we are pursuing it. We are doing our due diligence, and we will keep the board appraised as things move forward. I have one more item on my agenda. It's an executive session. It has to do with future contract negotiations. It's that time of the year when we need to start talking about what we are going to be looking for and or offering. So being as we're very close to the end of the agenda, I'll defer that to the end and ask, does any board member have any other business they wish to bring up?
I have a letter from the fire department.
Okay.
Give me a chance to put the glasses back on. We have received a letter from the Putnam Lake Fire Department. Please be advised that the following persons have been accepted as members of the Putnam Lake Fire Department: Jaden Indelicato of Lakeshore Drive. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve the inclusion of Mr. Indelicato as a member of the Putnam Lake Fire Department. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any other board member have anything they wish to bring up at this time?
I have two announcements. The first one, two very exciting announcements. The first one is the Relay for Life of Patterson. They're going to have Relay for Lives all over the state, all over the area. But the one participating in Patterson is going to be Saturday, June 12th. Our entire event will take place at the Patterson Fire Department, 13 Burdick Road. This year there's going to be a tailgate party from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So decorate your cars and rally your teams. We will have food and snacks our opening ceremony, butterfly release, a performance by our Relay Rising Star winner, and more. Bring a picnic dinner to enjoy or visit our hot dog and ice cream vendors for some yummy treats. So 5 o'clock is going to be check-in, 5:15 opening ceremony, 5:45 p.m. will be the butterfly release. Entertainment with DJ Russ from 8 to 9:30. And then there's going to be a drive-through luminaria at 9:30. So it looks like it's going to be an exciting time. For more information, you can call 845-590-1035. So it sounds like a great time for a great cause.
This Saturday.
This Saturday. It looks like it's a little different than usual, right?
It is a little different.
Changing up a little bit. Looks like it's going to be fun. Second I have is the Putnam County Department of Health is doing another free rabies vaccine clinic. So this is going to be Saturday, July 17th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Hubbard Lodge, 2880 Route 9 in Cold Spring. Bring your pets, dogs, cats, and ferrets for a free rabies vaccination. Dogs must be leashed, cats and ferrets must be in carriers, top-loading carriers preferred. So make sure you bring photo ID as proof of Putnam County resident, proof of prior rabies vaccination. Tags are not acceptable, so you need proof. And all CDC 19 guidance must be followed. So social, physical distancing, face coverings, and a minimum number of people necessary. So. Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, we are down to public recognition. Does anybody from the public wish to address the board tonight? Does anybody from Zoom wish to address the board tonight? If you would just unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes?
This is Stacy Mead. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Stacy.
First, I'd like to thank Sean for coming out and cleaning up.
Very welcome.
It's nice meeting with you. Just a few things to go over, and just to circle back to, when we had this conversation back in January. But just to start, has anybody seen the castle lately?
I have not. I heard late today that it looks like there's a problem with the door that may be open. So I've got to take a look at that in the morning.
It's been, animals can get in there, there's a beer can in there, what can be done about that? I mean, is it something the town can handle?
I will notify code enforcement after I've gone out, and we will get a hold of the property owner to try to secure it.
Okay. Last meeting, you were talking about the proposed new docks at Senator Harkin's office. So, will the taxpayers of Putnam Lake, will we have to match anything for this, or is it just completely taken care of by Senator?
Well, we'll have that conversation before we actually ask the Park Advisory Board and/or the people of Putnam Lake to match anything. But right now, this is a grant that does not require a match.
Okay. So, one of the meetings, a couple of meetings ago, I think it was back in April, you guys had all agreed to send up to the state about reducing the speed on South Lake. So was that letter sent, and how can I get a copy of it? Can you email it to me?
Yeah, that letter was sent, and I provided you a copy.
I did not get a copy of the letter.
All right, well, I will get you a copy of the letter.
I got the one for the county, not the one for New York State.
Well, the town goes to the county, we don't go to the state. But I will give you what I've sent the county.
No, I have the one for the county, I just need the one for New York State. So you're saying that there's a second letter that you sent to the county?
I'm saying everything I provide to the county, and the county then has to forward it to the state. So I will give you what I've sent them again.
Okay, so also, Ken had followed up with you because it wasn't just about the speed, it was about getting the advisory signs, the caution signs.
Yep,
Has any progress been made about getting the caution signs for the speed?
not at this time.
Do you know when that is gonna happen, or what the process is?
Not at this time, I don't.
Okay. So, all right, so I guess we have to wait until the state says something, or is it just a dead issue, just move on?
Well, certainly, as you're well aware, that the town does not have the authority to lower the speed limit on the road. We have to wait for the state to approve it.
Right, but you had said that you could look into the caution signs for the other parts,
Yes,
so that's what I'm concerned about. So
I did.
is it- Sorry?
yes, I am.
Okay, so I guess I'll just follow up again. So, as you know, the Blue Dock, they had gone over to the town, I guess the town went over, and they demolished part of it, and they left a big pile of rubble. Have you gone over yet to look at it?
Yes, I have been over to look at it. The highway department graciously went over and removed the dock, and they left the concrete pilings that were there. There is some, there's a piece of channel that is buried in the concrete, as well as some wire.
Okay, are they going to remove it?
No,
They're gonna leave the metal and just pile on the rubble?
we're not going to remove the concrete, nor are we going to start taking rocks out along the shoreline that people may find offensive. We just don't have that sort of manpower.
Okay, so when this was approached at the Putnam Lake Advisory meeting, they said that it was gonna cost $10,000 to do this?
Well, I said that,
But it cost $350?
Stacy, people were describing to me a dock that was buried 20 feet into the shoreline. I said this could cost up to $10,000 prior to my actually seeing the dock, based on what was being described to me. When I went out there and took a look at the dock, I contacted our highway superintendent, Russ Goff, realizing that probably this was not going to be as big a deal as everybody was making it out. And we got the job done, and Russ did a fabulous job.
But there's a big pile of rubble that people stand on now.
And they stand on rocks along the shore as well to go fishing.
Sorry?
And they stand on rocks along the shore to go fishing.
Does everybody else know what it looks like? I mean, with all the graffiti and everything that's all over the trees and what it looks
Well,
like?
now we're not talking about the pile of rubble you're referring to. We're talking about other areas.
Well, it's right in front of where there's graffiti on trees and rocks and everything all right over in the area.
No.
So, we're talking about the same area.
We're talking about the general area along South Lake Drive.
Right.
Yes.
So nothing's going to happen there as far as like removing the rubble. So, okay. So what about the rope swing area over there? I was told the other day that you've just decided you're not going to do anything, even though the advisory board had put a motion forward to remove that and remove the blue dock. But there's kids climbing up on a big log. So,
Well, listen, as you know, I'm over in Putnam Lake frequently, just checking on things, checking on the beaches. I made the commitment that I will monitor the conditions on the rope swing, and if I see people swinging on the rope swing, then I will cut the rope out of the tree. But when I was out there to look at this rope swing that you were so concerned with, you've got to be pretty good to get up that tree, and I'm telling you as a professional who did it most of my life climbing trees, that you've got to be pretty good to get up that tree to begin with. And that rope swing is not anywhere near the shore or the water where somebody could reach it and swing on it.
somebody
So,
did get up there.
so I will monitor it. I will continue to monitor it. And if I see people congregating around the rope swing and swinging on the rope swing, I personally will go up there and cut the rope down.
Well, our neighbors did on Sunday, that someone, if you go over and you look at it, the rope is actually around the tree, so it's no longer just hanging.
Well-
Somebody put up a big log, got up there, pulled it over. So, but again, I don't understand why this is, I mean, this is a serious liability issue. There was a motion, the advisory board agreed it should go, but it's still there. So, trying to figure it out. Moving on. So, we had written a letter, a group of us, back in January. You guys spoke about it. I followed up back in March to try to get a meeting, because that's what you guys had agreed to, that you were all going to come out and you were going to meet over the people that have concerns over on South Lake. The email went unanswered. The day of the Park Lane cleanup, that's when actually Ken got a text message, I think it was about 10:15 in the morning, saying that Sean and Ginny were there. They were cleaning around the lake. We went rushing over, and that's how we were able to see Sean. But up until that point, none of us have heard anything back about having a group meeting and everybody coming out and seeing what the concerns are. So I understand that you go out there and you take a look at it, and Sean has actually looked at it, and he's seen the pile too, with the metal and everything sticking out. But is anybody else planning to come and go for a meeting with the, the 15 households that were represented on this letter?
So my understanding was everybody was going to meet out there on Earth Day. That was a day that I was not available. Everybody was aware of that. Notice was sent out. I don't know
You
how.
never got a notice.
Well, I don't know how you didn't get a notice. I'll go back and check my emails. And then for whatever reason, I don't recall that meeting fell apart, but I never said I could make that day to begin with. I'm always accessible. I'm always happy to meet with the residents out there. And, at the end of the night, I can, check the calendars of my fellow board members to see if they have time to meet out there.
Okay. So, the parkland, the code revisions, it's, every time I ask about it, it seems to be they're working on it. So, parkland revisions were sent actually over October 14th in 2020 to the Park Lake Advisory Board. Then again, more revisions were asked for in March. So where does it stand with the revisions for pertaining to the park district and the usage, like places like the rope swing, the blue dock, the kids coming over from New Fairfield? Where does that stand right now?
So let's be clear, the code revisions were really originally initiated because there was an issue with the procedure that we had in place for the removal of boats for the parkland. And the town board had sent a request over to the Park Advisory Board that if you wanted to see the procedures changed, that, please make recommendations on how you would like to see the code changed, because the code lays out those procedures. We still haven't received anything from the Park Advisory Board on that issue. Instead, we received a number of code revisions, and then we were told, and some of them I got to tell you I'm not going to agree with, but then we received notice that they were looking at other code revisions as well, and I have yet to receive those as well.
So what are the other code revisions?
Off the top of my head, I don't recall what they all were. I believe one had to do with ice fishing, though, and there was another one or two that they were working on.
Okay, well, just so we all know, like everything that happens at the Park District meetings that have been talked about, I was the one that actually went into the codes, provided them to the advisory board. The advisory board all agreed. I think there was one change there, and then that happened back in October. Then it was asked again in March, because I guess we're concerned about ice fishing. I went ahead and researched it for the advisory board, and I sent that on March 7th. So, I don't know where the information's going, but there's definitely been a lot of time invested into trying to help this to move along, to help everybody. But, it only helps everybody else. So I guess we're not really any place with any of the code revisions, it's not going anywhere?
Well, again, I'm still waiting for further code revisions. I don't want to change the code and, then have to turn around 2 weeks later and change it again. So are we going to get revisions on the procedures with the boat, or are we going to keep it in place? And is the Park Advisory Board then going to follow those procedures? Are we going to get the additional changes that have been suggested?
I sent them all on, so, whether or not they were passed along, I don't know. So, but I know that I did it. Last year, Ken, Sarah, and Laura all went around and they were taking a look at all the trees around the parkland. Will anything happen this year with tree removal around the parkland?
I am sure that things are going to be happening with tree removal around the parkland. I actually met on Saturday with Laura. I stopped by while they were giving out braces, her and Lucinda, and had a conversation about 2 trees on Jackson that need to come down.
Okay, because there's a lot of very bad trees. We also had looked from the lake last year, and there was a lot of them there too that had problems that needed to be removed.
Understood.
So, last year also, you and I corresponded because I had listed questions, regarding what a lot of people, were complaining about on Facebook and then just generally walking around the lake. One of them was, obviously people are very concerned about the lake quality. The complaints are already starting again this year. So when we corresponded last year, one of the things that we had talked about was the park. And you were actually going to, you said that May 300, the carp were introduced into the lake. Typically, you need to wait 2 years before the carp begins to show a difference. By now, we should have started to see the difference in the weeds in the lake. So then you were going to take a look and introduce more carp into the water body. Over the summer, I would like to understand if and how many of the carp are still in the lake and why they're not being more infected. So if you said that it would take to restock in the spring, the town would need to apply for a permit this fall. So has anything happened with that to look at the effectiveness? I know that there was like another study that's happening, but was there anything else that has gone forward with even looking to see how well the carp are doing?
Well, I can tell you, traveling around the lake, that it doesn't seem like the carp are making a huge difference in the weeds. And listen, I wasn't a huge supporter of the carp. Everybody else wanted to put the carp in. I'm a public servant, so, I put the carp in the lake, with the support of the park district and the town board. Last year was a difficult year that, we were really locked down, so I did try to find various ways to see if anybody could identify how many carp they actually saw in the lake, but was unsuccessful. We can try to do that again this year. Now that the weather's turned nice, things are loosening up for the summer. I might be able to find somebody with a drone who might be able to fly the lake, and I can look into that. But I think at this point, the discussions have been going in a different direction rather than focusing on the carp at this point.
Right, so one of the other things you had been talking about, like doing the aeration system, but then you looked into dredging and then hydro dredging as well.
Right.
So you're saying spreading out the cost over a number of years. You had been in discussion with 2 companies about hydro dredging, which took promise, and then you're planning on continuing on with that. Is it something you're still doing? I know that there seems to be a little, I don't know if there was an overlap with the Park District Advisory Board, but I know that also weeding was discussed. I know that there was a bid that was put out to do a weeding program over weed harvesting, over how many years was it? 5 years? 5 years. The advisory board they had all made a motion and agreed that they think that the weed harvesting would actually be the best option, at least for now. But, is anything going to move forward with that?
We haven't seen anything other than a very limited recommendation to remove the weeds off the beach. So I haven't seen anything farther than that. I know that the Park Advisory Board is pursuing, weed harvesting options. Me personally, I'm looking at hydro dredging.
Okay, because Ken actually did find, and I believe that he submitted it to you, again, looking for different alternatives for the weed harvesting. So there was somebody else who he did, and I think it was $50,000, so $10,000 a year for the next 5 years is for harvesting around the lake. But, so they definitely, I don't know if it needs to be presented in a different way or something, but, they definitely said it. So, definitely it was sent over. So just one little weird thing is the web page is still linked to an outdated, like the town page is still linked to this outdated Weebly page. Is it ever gonna go to the other website or anything? The credentials have been handed, I don't know about the Weebly page, don't put me on that, but I know that the other one, you guys have the credentials, is that ever gonna be updated, or what's gonna happen there?
Yes, we are currently working on what we're going to do to update our website, the whole website, including Putnam Lake.
Okay, so, okay. Did you have anything that you wanted to add? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Stacy. Do I have anybody else on Zoom who would like to make any comments? If you could.
Good evening, this is Scott Seaman from the Brewster Board of Ed.
Hi, Scott.
Hope you all well. Good to see you. Thank you for inviting me in tonight. Just wanted to give an update on what's going on down at the school. We are very close. We have graduation next week on the 18th. We're similar to last year's. We're doing the car parade from Coles, marching band and such at the schools, with fireworks, and as big a send-off as we can for the kids. That week's also senior prom, and I guess the PTA and a lot of local groups have worked on a number of things we can do to try to help the kids of all the, as well as we can, all levels. And I hope you don't mind, but we are looking to reopen our schools and to the public in regards to the Board of Ed meetings. And I did sort of steal your guys' policy as a suggestion for starting. And so just we're working to get the people back in as well, following your lead. And once again, we want to thank you for what you guys are doing. And if there's anything we can do, please let us know.
All right. Thank you, Scott. And our policies are always freely given if you'd like to use them.
There you go. I like free.
Do we have anybody else on Zoom?
Bruce is there.
Hello, Bruce. All right, hearing...
Hi, how are you?
You have any comments tonight?
No, I think you already had enough fun.
Well, it's always fun, but thank you.
It is. Okay.
All right. Can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Motion to go into executive session.
Do we have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.